Let's talk about the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2, which is a up-tempo trainer racer with a nylon plate and a midsole made of PEBA, but expanded pellets. It gets a new upper, a new engineered monomesh upper. It gains a touch of weight, about 6 grams to come in, I think, about 8 ounces, 226 grams in this second version. It has a big 35 and a half heel, 27 and a half forefoot, so lots of cushioning, 8 millimeter drop. It'll release June 15th, $160. So I've taken them out for 2 runs now, sort of a bit slower than my marathon pace first run, and then an A/B test with the Speed 1, and I'm going to cover that in the video. What are the changes? How do they feel? It is an upper update, but some changes occur with the ride, even though underfoot it's the same. There's somebody going. Got a great wave. Oh, I'm going to keep running. So running along, look at those waves. A lot of people cycling. So let's talk about the comparative fit between our two Endorphin Speed. So this is the first version. It's a size 9, half size up. This, the 2 is my correct true to size. So regardless of that, I think you'll notice that the 2 has a more secure midfoot hold with maybe a touch less volume there. Toe boxes are pretty similar. The mesh in our 2 is a little, if you will, denser but thinner. So not quite as soft, but I don't think it makes much of a difference except to better lock down my foot, even with the length. Now the big differences here I'm feeling are with our new heel counter and those overlays that are underneath the checkered flags on both sides. What I'm feeling is a more stable heel landing and a much more directed ride forward. I'm not feeling sloppy, somewhat sloppy and soft as I did in version 1. Here the landing is a touch more stable. That was sometimes a knock on the Speed because I think the heel counter, it's more vertical, you can see, and a little bit narrower, is holding me better and directing me forward. So all in all, I think if you have a super wide foot, you may struggle a bit more than you did in the 1. But for normal feet and for me, a wonderful upper. I'm actually wearing fairly thick wool socks today on a humid day, but and I'm finding both are about equally breathable, and the fit is good. So Saucony didn't mess much of it at all, really, with the Speed 2. On my A/B test run today, slowish pace, 940s, kind of warm, humid. I could detect really nothing underfoot at the midsole level. The PWRRUN PB felt the same in terms of softness. The plate, even though this one is new, already is starting to get more flexible, so it should match up to the to our older one very quickly. The outsole identical as far as I can tell. So really all the changes to the shoe are really to the upper. And I'm going to conclude that the changes to the upper change the ride somewhat for me. Even though this one is a half size up from my normal, and this is at my normal 8.5. This new heel counter, which you can see is a little more pointed, a little narrower, really locks my rear of the foot down much, much better. So I'm able to really kind of get forward quicker. Here, this wider kind of opening is kind of more unstable. I really noticed that. I think it makes the shoe more unstable than our new upper. Something else to note, they're very hard to see, but they're overlays, translucent overlays on both sides that extend from the toe, and they get higher as you go towards the heel. This gives the upper more structure, I think, around the midfoot than our Speed 1, which you can see is kind of softer, more pliable. The hold isn't as good in version 1 for me at midfoot. This midfoot is kind of wide feeling, whereas here it's really locked down. So if you have a wide midfoot, you might struggle a bit more in the Speed 2. I'm sorry, because it is a snugger fit there. They've changed the gusset material. It's now solid. You can see it in there, from a more grid-like kind of material. It's about the same thickness. May affect breathability a little bit. If we look at the upper's breathability, you can see here, there's our 1 and our 2, even though you can't see it from the outside, is also very perforated. I found it slightly more breathable than the 1 on my run today, which was on a humid day. Now, as far as the toe boxes, I believe they're on the same last, same kind of general last. However, our mesh here is thinner but a little denser, and over here it's a bit more pliable and softer. So up front, maybe a touch less kind of spread in our number 2, but a better hold again. Saucony calls out the lacing as being improved, and I would say that it's slightly improved. I think it's more the upper's fit that holds the foot, that keeps it locked down. Now, what is the Speed 2 for, if you're not familiar with it? Well, it's an all-arounder really in the area of faster training, racing, and you can even daily train in it. Sort of unlike some of the carbon shoes, it has some real flex because it has that nylon plate, as you can see, and then coming back to its stack height, which is 35.5 at the heel, 27.5 at the forefoot, same 8mm drop. So that's a very well cushioned platform. There's plenty of cushioning for daily training, and plenty of rebound and energy return from the PWRRUN PB midsole, and that response from the front plate, which gives you the characteristic speed roll at toe off. Some said that it felt a bit unstable in version 1. Well, I think these improvements, unstable at the heel, I think these improvements at the heel with this new heel counter construction help go a long way to solving that. It's not a stability shoe by any sense. So you can see there's pretty minimal rubber, also pretty narrow midfoot. Not much rubber at the heel, plenty for wear, but not so much for extra stability. So it can serve pretty much all runners as your speed tempo shoe, but I'm not sure I'd recommend it if you're a heavy pronator as your daily training shoe. It might work. So it's going to hit come to market June 15th in at least this checkered flag motif. Who knows? Saucony often comes up with other motifs. It's $160. It's a solid but minor update. If the version 1 worked super well for you and you needed maybe a bit of extra room, you might try to pick up a pair on sale. But if you thought version 1 was a bit unstable, if you will, and maybe a bit, the upper left a bit to be desired in terms of hold, I would recommend the Speed 2. Of course, there's also the Endorphin Pro 2, which we're going to be reviewing in writing, hopefully also in video. I don't have a pair, but some on our team do. Essentially, it's the same shoe with a carbon plate as opposed to a nylon plate. Of all the carbon plated shoes I personally tested last year, and I tested just about every single one of them, if not all of them, the Endorphin Pro was kind of harsh with its plate. I found it harsh feeling up front, whereas with your Speed, there's no harshness whatsoever. The nylon plate has plenty of snap, plenty of response, but it doesn't kind of feel like a harsh element in the mix. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to have our full multi-tester written review, including in German and French and English, real soon on Road Trail Run. Have a nice day and a great run, and I hope you'll consider subscribing to our channel and going over to our website for all those reviews.